Here are 5 tricks the narcissist uses to make you feel like you're the problem. Number 1, shifting the blame to you every single time you try to hold them accountable for their actions. The conversation always ends up about something that you did wrong to cause them to do what they did. Number 2, playing on your empathy in a chaotic situation that they've created in order to victimize themselves and make you feel guilty. Number 3, triangulating you with other people and telling you that so-and-so would agree with me, or so-and-so said that they think that you're crazy, making you feel like everyone else is talking about you and that everyone agrees with them. Number 4, triggering you on purpose and then pointing the finger at your reaction to them triggering you. Number 5, gaslighting you, meaning they will invalidate your feelings, your thoughts, and your experiences to the point where you question your perception of things. You question your reality, and you start living in their false reality where they did nothing wrong and everything is your fault.
Welcome to the CWC podcast. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being here. This is the home of entrepreneurship, interpersonal relationships, modern dating, and much more. So thank you for being here, everybody. As a matter of fact, give yourselves a round of applause. We appreciate it. Now, today's topic, very important topic. You saw the clip at the beginning. Today kind of tips our hand as to what we are covering today on the show. We're talking about narcissism. And what is a narcissist? What exactly is a narcissist, right? We hear the term, but what is it? We're going to find out today, or at least start to peel back the onion to understand what a narcissist is. Now,
people will say, he's such a narcissist.
Yeah, right.
Narcissist.
It sounds like I told Amina, I said, when I hear narcissist, I remember just thinking about wrestling. Like people who, my old head wrestler fans remember the narcissist Lex Luger, and he was standing there in the mirror flexing, and he loved the way that he looked. I thought it was all to do with you thought that you're.
Ric Flair was a narcissist.
Yeah, I thought that you thought that you are just more beautiful than what everyone else thinks. Like
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought. I thought it was more like I'm better than everybody, which it kind of is, but it's an actual psychological disorder that over the last week, I've done a lot of reading and studying up on so that we be able to deliver the topic to you in an effective fashion. A lot of you may be living with a narcissist. It could be a mother, father, brother, sister, loved one, boyfriend, girlfriend, doesn't matter. People are people. Mm-hmm. So what is a narcissist? First of all, let me define narcissism. Narcissism, this is the WebMD definition. Narcissism is defined as excessive interest in or admiration of oneself and one's physical appearance. That's one. In psychological terms, it is actually defined as selfishness involving a sense of entitlement, a lack of empathy for others, and a constant need for self-admiration. Last piece, a narcissistic person is so self-absorbed that they ignore the needs of those around them. They also do not understand the effects of their behavior on others. That's paraphrasing the definition. Based on what I've said, what does being a narcissist mean to you?
What I know of a narcissist and my experience is a narcissist never takes, they never accept blame for any of the behavior that they do or how they make the other person feel. It's your problem that you feel that way because they didn't do anything wrong. Mm-hmm. They put on a persona as not a persona, but it's almost as a being perfect without saying perfect because it's not their fault.
Okay.
And when you do try to pour yourself out and try to get them to understand, they can never see things from your point of view anyways. Mm-hmm. So they will run you in circles in a conversation, and then at the end of all of it, just say, well, I'm sorry for everything. Like, that's not what we're talking about. It's not everything. You're not listening to me.
So let me piggyback on what she just said. I'm sorry for everything. Stay tuned for the entire video because at the end, we have another clip for you from an actual self-proclaiming. This guy is a narcissist, self-proclaimed. So stay tuned so that you can understand some of these things that we're breaking down. Go ahead.
Or I didn't know that you were so sensitive. Yeah. Or they'll crack jokes at your expense and then say, see, I was just trying to joke with you. You don't think it's funny? I'm just trying. All of a sudden now we can't joke with each other. Why can't we have fun?
Now you're on the defensive.
But you're making fun of me. Stuff like that.
Okay. So you're on the board. So, okay. First of all, guys, understand this. and this is something else I learned. Narcissism and being a narcissist, it's not something the person chooses to be. Let's understand that first. It's an actual psychological disorder. There are treatments, and this, by the way, this is probably part one of a 3-part series that we're going to do on this because it's such a broad topic. It's a very, very sensitive topic too, because we're talking about people, because we're talking about loved ones, right? People you might love somebody. You say, okay, now I understand what's wrong with this person, because it helps you to at least understand why the person behaves that way. It's really rough if you're in love with a narcissist. That's really rough, because now you have the blindness of the fact that you love the person, right? On top of all of the mind games. So one of the things that you said, the narcissist, number one, key trait to the narcissist, they do not take accountability. Almost never. Almost never. It's to the point where they will always find a way. And we're going to share with you in the description box a link to a YouTube video where a gentleman breaks down the 5 traits of a narcissist. It's wonderful. I recommend that you watch it. It'll resonate with anybody out there who has actually dealt with a narcissistic relationship. You watched it.
The narcissist deflects. So when you do come to them with something that you want to talk to them about, something that happened, you're trying to get them to understand your point of view, they will either deflect and refer to somebody else and shield the conversation. They bounce it off to somebody else, or they project it onto you.
Yeah.
And now it becomes about you. And now you're sitting there trying to, defend yourself again.
Yes. They put you on the defensive. So as we're breaking this down, let me explain something else. There's 2 types of narcissism as well. So the actual definition, medical definition or terms, you have the grandiose narcissist, which is just like what it sounds. Grandiose is somebody who's loud, who's bombastic, that may have a big personality.
They elevate themselves above others.
Right.
In their mind, they're better than everybody else too, for some reason.
Yes. Do any of you work with somebody like maybe it's a female or a guy, right? He's got to let everybody know how much his watch costs. Like he'll actually compare it to yours.
Yes.
That's what the narcissist will do. They will find something,
or tell you that your bag is fake.
Correct. A female telling you that, oh, you could tell your Coach bag's fake. You know that? Yeah. Like that's probably a narcissist. That person or that person has narcissistic traits.
Yeah.
Because there's levels to this.
That's a window into that person.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So you have grandiose and vulnerable. This made a lot of sense to me when I read it. A vulnerable narcissist is someone who you wonder, you're like, I don't know, you would never think that person is narcissistic, because the person tends to be, let me break it down. I'll take it a little bit further. So the grandiose narcissist, by the way, the background information on it, it's someone who was likely treated as a child, treated as if they were superior to others. That's where the bedrock of the behavior comes from. They were probably, maybe they came from a well-to-do family, silver spoon in their mouth.
One of the parents put them on a pedestal.
Right. One of the parents was constantly, bigging up this child, and at the expense of others, because the mother also might have been narcissistic. So you see how it just kind of builds upon itself. So that's grandiose. Their behavior traits, they tend to be aggressive, dominant, and they need to dominate the conversation. They're aggressive, they're dominant. Very self-confident individuals, not sensitive to others. They really that's the person you say, he only cares about himself.
Yeah.
Right?
And when they're wrong in their wrongdoing, they'll never admit defeat or take their sweet time doing so.
Yeah.
You may or may not get an apology.
You usually won't.
Yeah.
Narcissists do not like to apologize. They will apologize out of obligation.
Because if it's going to disrupt their world, their makeup, then they can't allow that to fall apart. So they'll only apologize and only give in to you if they sense that what they have built, the delusion, the world around them, is going to crumble. That's the only time that they'll.
Correct. And all of that, by the way, is an act. So because the way the narcissist's brain works, they know what they need to do to manipulate you. They've already mastered you already. See, you haven't figured them out yet. This is why when they say, like, when you hear your lady, he's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
That's happening for real.
She said, he's making me crazy. I swear to God. He is.
So that's grandiose. The vulnerable narcissist, here's the definition, is someone who was likely neglected or abused as a child. These people tend to be more sensitive. Their narcissistic behavior is actually a defense mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they feel they get offended quickly too. This type of narcissist gets very, very offended quickly because they have soft skin in a way.
Yeah.
Right. So
outer is like a hard shell, appears to be.
Yeah.
But they're easily damaged, and therefore they can easily damage you.
Yes, absolutely. So those are the two types of a narcissist. So, two different, it makes sense to me, right? You've got your bombastic one and kind of your, more melancholy one, but they're the same, but they just have different forms of behavior that as it relates to narcissism. What are some other traits? So narcissists tend to be masters of manipulation. We talked about that. They're awesome at it. Like, you're not going to win, put it that way. You're not.
Sometimes you won't even know it's happening.
Yeah, you won't even know. Like you won't even know. Like they already manipulate. They're 2 steps ahead of you in their manipulation. Their brain tells them what they need to do,
and they funnel you into the decision that they want.
Yes.
And if they funnel you in different ways. They'll use emotional tactics. Mm-hmm. Usually emotional. Weaponizing emotion will get the person to behave in a certain way, and you don't want to be ignored. You don't want to be treated badly. You love the person,
and because of their lack of empathy for others, they tend to be very rude, very, very arrogant, very rude, like
inconsiderate,
very inconsiderate, because in their brain, what they did that we perceive as being rude is rude. Their brain doesn't tell them that. They don't rationalize it that way. Their brain doesn't process it that way because they're incapable of empathizing with you. Your brain works different in that way. Yeah. That's why they're when they actually get like called out on it, right? Mm-hmm. Because what happens to these people, and just to finish up my points here, you see here, you cannot reason or rationalize with the narcissist, because they're only capable of seeing things from their point of view. Yeah, they're not able. You could say, I just don't understand why he doesn't. No, you're not going to understand,
because they'll keep they'll control the conversation. They'll find a way to project it onto you or change the subject in a way. Yes. You'll come to them with something, but the subject will change, and it will be about you and how you made them do it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, that's one thing. They'll shift the blame. So let's say that this person does something debaucherous, right, to you. You're all heartbroken. You're destroyed because let's say this person you're in a relationship with, right? What'll happen is they will figure out a way to blame it on you, and they'll probably get you to believe it. Like that. This is how manipulative they are.
And be mad at you on top of
it. Oh yeah. And they will have you questioning you. You'll be looking in the mirror like, maybe it was me.
I need to be better next time.
I did something wrong. Maybe I did something. Maybe I'm not understanding. And they'll have you questioning. And then you'll be trying to like figure out because it's the manipulative behavior. They've successfully manipulated you. Mm-hmm. That's what has happened. Yeah. Okay. So they are bullies. A narcissist is a bully.
Yes.
Most narcissists, they are bullies. What do they say about bullies? The only way you can match their energy and you can fight them, right? But don't do that with a narcissist.
The narcissist will exhaust you.
Yes.
It's exhausting.
Don't do it.
You don't win. You're the one in tears. The narcissist is still in control because they're not feeling what you're feeling. Mm-hmm. And you're just wearing yourself out.
Right. So how do you deal with a narcissist? Starve them of attention. That's it.
Yeah,
Withdraw. As a matter of fact, that's what you have to do right there. Do not talk. Do not say anything else. Do not try to explain anything else. Do not try to get them to understand from your point of view. Do not send the next text. Don't do any of that. Stop.
Run.
Right now. If you realize that you're in a relationship or and like I said, guys, this has nothing to do, it doesn't have to be a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend. It could be a mother. I was reading about that. Some of the worst narcissistic relationships are mother to daughter.
Daughter, yeah.
Some of the worst are mother to daughter. So it has nothing to do with, it's people. It's people. And this is not a male female thing. This is not something to sit up here and say. Now, okay, your grandiose narcissist people are also your girls on Instagram that have 7,000 selfies of themselves. That girl's narcissistic, 100%, 100%. If you go to somebody's Instagram and they have, in fact, dude, guys, if you're dating a girl right now, go look at her page. I was watching a video where a girl even says it. She even says, yeah, I guess this is kind of weird because she had a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. But on her Instagram page, she had like 700 pictures and one of herself. I mean, one of him.
I was wondering about that because I know a couple of females that I personally know, and none of their boyfriend, baby fathers
They're narcissistic.
are in their Instagram or any of the pictures they post on Facebook. I know he exists. I know he's there.
Right.
I know you're still with him.
Right.
How come he's not in any of your pictures with your child and you?
Because I'll tell you exactly why. I'll tell you exactly why. Because those women are narcissistic. They crave the attention, right, of anyone. Because some of them are it's look at me, look at me, look at me, right? So if they look and you're portraying the family woman, the mother, the whatever, you're not as interesting anymore. You're just not. That guys, you know what's up. Guys are out there like, yeah, that's true too. Because if I seen the baby in the picture, I wouldn't even be like sending them DMs of stuff. The girl wants to give,
but she's in the picture with the baby, but not him.
Yeah. Which means that she might be available. Oh, okay. It means she might be available. It means shoot your shot, guys. Y'all better understand this. Y'all better I'm telling you right now. If you're dating any of these modern women out here right now, and it goes for guys too. It goes both ways. Understand who you're dealing with, because if that person is narcissistic, I recommend that you walk away right now. I wouldn't spend it again. Don't wait, because
you don't win with the narcissist unless that person agrees to going for psychoactive.
Yes,
psychoactive treatment. Agrees to. Is there medication for? I can't remember. Is there medication for the narcissist?
So yes, but all right. So you heard me to bring up treatment. There is treatment. I'm going to leave some links in the description box for articles that you guys can reference to read about this. Psychotherapy is what they say that the doctors want you this type of if the person, first of all, the person has to acknowledge that they're a narcissist. That's almost impossible for them to do.
But still, psychotherapy at the end of the day is still talk therapy.
And,
do they my experience with talk therapy with a narcissist, it didn't work. So
okay, so you've actually gone to therapy for this. Hey, this is a heck of a show. Hey, we might have more material than I thought. So you've actually been to therapy. Okay. Yeah, interesting.
Me not being the narcissist, but I went, but it didn't work.
But was it?
There was no medications involved. It was talk therapy.
Okay, it was talk therapy. Okay, so they start you there, right? There are meds. Now we say I believe meds. You want that to be your last resort.
Yes.
Right.
Sure.
Because there are treatment. You can. The person
has to want to be different.
The person. Okay, this was the link I was looking for. This is the one from Mayo Clinic. This is a really good one. Again, guys, I recommend reading this, especially if you know somebody who's dealing with this. This is serious. This is serious stuff here. This is not funny. Like, we're laughing about certain things here, but in reality, this is real life right here. And if you're dealing,
it's painful. It's really painful being in a relationship with a narcissist because you blame yourself and you do a lot of crying and trying to get the person to understand you, but they don't.
As a matter of fact, let me share my screen briefly. Guys, I just want to share the WebMD article with you specifically. real quick. So here you go. You should be seeing on the screen. This is from, actually, no, I'm sorry. This is from Mayo Clinic. So narcissistic personality disorder is the actual term for it, the medical term. What is that? What you guys call it? Medical term?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the medical term. The diagnosis is here, so you can see that here, right? We just talked about that. Here's the treatment. So you see, psychotherapy is the first thing because they want to start off where you started off, right? Bring someone in, sit down. Someone who does. I've never personally been to therapy, but I've heard about it. They bring someone in who does, because of the idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
A third party who doesn't know either one, so they're not going to be partial either way.
Mm-hmm.
So you started there. How many was it? A sessions thing that you keep going back? Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Elective,
Did you complete it?
Well, I think it's complete after every session. It's
Oh,
up to you if you want to keep coming back.
All right. So it says here, right? Medicines. There are no medicines specifically used to treat narcissistic personality. But if you have symptoms of depression, anxiety, other conditions, they talk about antidepressants. Why is that key, guys? Why did I want to share that one piece? I'll tell you why. In one of our earlier shows, we talked about the percentage of women in the United States who are on psychomedication, some kind of antidepressant. Yeah. It's roughly 2.5 out of 5 women, almost 3 out of 5. It's a lot. Like it's a lot of women, right, that are taking some sort of mood altering substance. Mm-hmm. Some of this we might be able to tie back, to. Have you ever had somebody tell you, "I just don't know what's wrong with me"? You ever had someone say that?
Yes.
Like there are people, you've heard this, right? People were saying.
A lot of women say that.
Start putting 2 and 2 together, guys.
What's wrong?
Start putting 2 and 2 together. If any of these things apply, like I said, it might apply to you. You might be sitting over there right now, telling me, "Damn, they talking about me." You might be thinking about, "Damn," you know what I'm saying? So, guys, this again, our goal here is to help people. That's why I always say, ultimately, that's the goal of this channel, is to be able to bring to light things that we feel are damaging society. This is a big deal. This is a really big deal because if you're dealing with someone like this, what's going to end up happening is, when somebody tells you, "I've been banging my head against the wall, I can't figure it," you're probably dealing with a narcissist.
Yeah. And the best treatment is for the person that's a narcissist is to go get treatment. And the person that's involved with the narcissist needs to leave.
Yes.
Needs to just, because you're wasting your time. I mean, unless you like it.
Oh, no, unless you,
because some people like drama, I guess.
Not necessarily even like it, but they like people who just say that their self-esteem is so low that they just say, "I'll just stay anyway. What am I going to do? Go out there and start over?
Yeah.
I got to get to know somebody again. At least I know the devil that I know." Like I've heard guys say, I heard guys, I work with guys that would tell me that they couldn't stand their wives, right? These guys couldn't stand them. But they would sit there and say, "Well, but I mean, what am I going to do? Go out here and start over. I don't want to do da-da-da-da-da." I'm sitting there like,
yes.
"So you're going to be miserable instead?" Okay. I mean, you can. Everything's a choice, right? Yeah. At the end of the day, everything's a choice. So if you stay, fine. I'm not going to sit there and say, but find out if you're living with a narcissist. Because if you are, and you're hoping that one day this person magically changes, like it isn't going to happen.
No.
It's not. It's not.
And medically speaking, they will tell you they're not.
Yep. They're not going to change. I mean, guys, go read the articles and read it. And don't take it from me. I always tell everybody, assume I'm full of crap. Go read it for yourself and find out. And if you, because you'll be sitting there, "But I told them everything that I done and he did it again."
I mean, if you think that's the best you can do, you can tolerate that behavior and that's it for you, that's fine too.
Yeah, it's fine.
But if it's not making you happy, they're not going to change. So
awareness is everything. Right? If you're aware, like if you now know, because I'll promise to God, I didn't know this. I read about this over the last 3 days while I was doing research for the show. I knew a little bit about narcissism. I knew about the arrogance and stuff like that. I didn't know about the deep psychological. It's because it's a neurological disorder. Remember what I always used to say? I said, well, now at this point, it's a cognitive issue. Like something's wrong up here. Like that. It is.
And it's almost like, it's almost like, well, thanks guys for the depressing news about the narcissist. Like, there's no rainbow at the end, no bucket of gold. How
Unfortunately,
do we fix
no.
it?
No.
Yeah, I know.
No. Okay.
Is that the truth? Is that it?
There is, okay, how to deal with a narcissist. So, which will be part 2 of the show. How do you deal with one? Well, again, awareness is the key. So if you're aware that this person is a narcissist, bring it to their attention. Sit down with them. Show them the research that you've done, the medical research. Explain to them how their behavior makes you feel. You've done this a million times already.
Yeah.
You've already. I know. I know. But I did that already. Somebody's telling me that right now. They're looking at it. Why did I try that?
Yeah.
Show them the medical information. Show them that there is a treatment path. And guess what? If they decide, well, I don't know what you're talking. There must be something wrong with you. I'm not doing it. Nobody tells me this. Everybody
deflecting and projecting.
And then guess what you do? Leave.
Yeah.
That's it.
Go salvage the rest of your life.
That's the solution.
I'm telling you right now.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, just wait, you're going to wake up one day, it'll be over. No, it's not. You wake up one day, you'll be over. you know what I'm saying? Like, seriously. So if you're aware, okay, now we know. All right, let me tell her. Let me tell him. Whatever it is. Let me tell my mom, because now I know what's wrong with her.
Now the ball's in their court.
And then you go to your mom, right? And you tell her, you show your mom the information. Now your mom's probably not going to listen to you. Because everybody's mom is out there like, how are they going to tell me what's wrong with me? What do you know? But show them to it, and then guess what? If you show it that to them, and they still sit there and say, which is expected. Expect this. Expect them to say, there's nothing wrong. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything wrong. And nobody thinks that I'm like this. You're the only one who saw it that way. I don't know what you're talking about.
Or because their back's against the wall, they this time will apologize, and they'll give you a broad spectrum apology, one that's not specific, and they'll try their best to contain the situation and simmer you back down to a place where they can, in a week or 2 or 4, go back to being who they were.
Watch the end of the video. There's an actual narcissist at the end of the video, and he will tell you from his own mouth, this is what we do. He's aware though. So if he's still doing it to whoever, if he's in a relationship or dealing with anybody and he's still doing it, it's like, okay, now you're just being an a-hole, because now you know what you're doing. Because the narcissist doesn't know what they're doing.
Can they help it?
No.
If you have awareness, then can he help?
He can, because now he's going to treatment. Because he's been
a self-diagnosed,
right?
Not self-diagnosed, but medically diagnosed.
So it's not going to happen overnight, right? But at least, like, if you have awareness, you can try to fix it.
Awareness of a thing, you can change it.
Yes. You can at least say, okay, now at least, isn't that relief to say, well, at least I know what's wrong with me now.
It is.
Isn't that give you some closure? You can say, well, now at least all right. And even for the person who was in that relationship, it gives them some closure too, because they can at least say, all right, at least it makes sense from a medical perspective. And it wasn't all me. I'm
not a horrible person.
Right. You start to understand, and then you start saying, because what the narcissist will do is they will break your own self-esteem down so bad because you think they're that way because of you. That's what happens.
And you stop caring about yourself and taking care of yourself, and you start putting yourself last just like they do.
There we go.
Yeah. It's a cancer.
It is. And it'll destroy.
Virus.
It'll destroy. Do your own research. Go out there and look. Take a look at the stories. You've seen the videos. There's tons of them. We could sit here for a 5-hour show and just roll clips of people who are in relationships or have been or got out of. You can tell the girl in the beginning. She definitely was in a relationship with a narcissist. Like, you could tell they're not faking it.
Yeah. You can feel it when they start talking. You're like, yeah. You just start checking your boxes.
You sent me one of a lady that, you were like, she's in my brain. She's saying all the same things. I can't believe it. Who is this lady? Like, because the reason that the experiences are so similar is because the narcissistic behavior is the same. Mm-hmm. That's why it's the same. It's the same across the board. Yeah. There's just different styles, but it's the same exact thing.
Yes.
That's why everybody's who's dealing with a narcissist, everybody's like, you think you're nuts.
They all say the same thing. I thought it was going crazy, or
thought I was going
he
crazy.
was making me crazy,
Mm-hmm.
or everyone thought I was crazy,
Mm-hmm.
because they get everyone to believe that you're the bitch or you're the crazy one.
Yeah, man. Because that's the manipulative tactic. They know how to draw support. They know how to rally.
They'll lay the groundwork way ahead before you enter the room, so everyone knows that you're the psychopath.
They can play, and they are masters at playing the victim, because if that narcissistic person is backed into a corner where they realize, okay, I'm caught this time, right? Like my bad behavior was so bad.
Yeah.
All right, I'm caught. They will still minimize it.
Yes.
Wait for it. They will still. They will say, they'll do like this. They'll say, okay. And then what they'll do is they'll cry to get the sympathy, to get everybody to, let's cool the temperature down. Oh, la, 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 la. They'll put on a performance. They're performers. They'll put on a whole performance. That's part of the disorder.
It's a but
Then they will say, after all of that I just said, they will still say, but I only did it because of this. They have to get that last piece in, because it helps them to avoid the accountability that they pretended to take. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. So they're still in control.
There you go. We're bumping up against the time. I hope that everybody enjoyed the first round of this discussion. As you can see, we could keep rocking and rolling with this. That's why there's going to be 3 parts. Guys, let's join the conversation. Leave us a comment. Leave us a like.
Yeah.
Tell us. If you're concerned, hey, maybe this is what's up with my brother. Hey, maybe this is up with my mom, my sister, my wife, my brother, my cousin, whatever.
Yeah.
The goal is to help people here. That's what we're going to do. 2023, we're here, and we ain't going nowhere. Thank you for being here. We will see you next time.
Yeah.
We're out.
Here are a few things that a narcissist will say to you that sounds like apologies, but they are not apologies. And if you're new here, I'm a narcissist. I actually have narcissistic personality disorder. I'm sorry for everything. That is not an apology, because I'm sorry for everything it lacks specificity. You don't know exactly what they're apologizing for. They're not, it helps them avoid accountability and things like that. Number 2, I'm sorry I hurt you. That is also not an apology, because it lacks specificity. You don't know what they're apologizing for. It's a blanket statement. It means nothing. Number 3, I'm sorry you took it that way. Again, not an apology. It places blame on your misinterpretation. Number 4, crying in front of you. Yep, crying can be used as manipulation by a narcissist or a toxic person, because it throws you off. It makes it seem like they are remorseful for what they did. I'm sorry, but. Using the word but helps them avoid accountability and places blame elsewhere. And it also invalidates everything that came before it. Anything before the word but